I'm doing incredibly well. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a very long time. How has life been?
Fun, totally new concept for me.
It's
But
wild that it's new for you. Of all the
yeah,
people that I would have thought this is just normal for me. I thought you would have been the guy.
this is new heights for me.
It's a different gravy, to be honest.
It is,
It's
it
a much
is,
more fluid conversation. You can really get into the nitty gritties in a different way because I get to
and
ask
you're
what I
doing this
want.
back to back for like 6 hours, right? I
Yeah,
just since
yeah,
11:30 this morning, I believe.
yeah, that's the one. I think we've taken a short 5 minute break and that was it. We just had to go and get another coffee. But yeah, it's a long one. I think we've got to do it because we've got to bring a new flavor of energy to the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And if you don't try and push the boundaries, like what are we doing here? We're just going to remake everything the same.
I totally agree. I love it. I love it. And I tuned in a little bit earlier when Grace Andrews was on. I thought it was really good.
We
I'm a big
get
fan of her, and I've been following her for a while, so that was good.
we get the big dogs, right? Like we've got to make sure that these are like one of the things that we've touched on a lot is the creator influencer kind of distribution. And the fact that today, more than ever, in the role that you do, understanding distribution is key. For me, Grace is one of those few people in the world that's done that inside of the company and then stepped out. In your case, you've done it
Yeah.
the reverse way round.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think there's definitely room for people to go and learn all of this at companies, then leave and then do it on your own. But I also think there's a lot of cases where you do it on your own first, then go and be able to do it at a company, right? But I think this is what's super interesting that now that a lot of big companies and production companies and just creators are hiring and creating teams, there's so much opportunity to become a creator, but not just in the traditional way that you would, where you start posting on social media. You can go and learn from the best, right? And I think that's what Grace Andrews has done by working with Dara, the CEO. And so, yeah, that's just super cool. I love that.
It's really interesting the parallels you find because obviously we context switch so much on the show and you try and you end up like just seeing patterns where other people just can't see them because of the hit rate of people you talk to.
Yeah.
I see so much like there's so many parallels to what they do in terms of experimentation and the way that you guys operate at Elevenlabs. I'd love to lift up the hood a little bit, but not get too deep into the process, but try and understand like how the hell with such a small high agency team do you produce the most incredible content?
That's a good question. I think it comes down to the people you hire. It's genuinely the team you build. You've got to obsess over the details. And at 11 Labs, they definitely try and find and pick out the people that obsess over the little things that you wouldn't necessarily obsess over. And so for me and on our team, we literally are really passionate about what we do. We love creating content. And I've been doing YouTube for like 9 years. And so getting to do this as a job, it's just like it's almost a dream come true. And so I think at 11 Labs, they've just got really good at finding those people and picking the people out that are just passionate about what they do, and that allows for like high agency and just creating high quality stuff. And it is all about having ownership because I think when you are passionate, you want to have ownership, and that's when you can just kind of let people do their thing. And without worrying about constantly having to push the quality bar because people want to do it themselves.
I want to talk a little about your thesis around content, right? We play two ends of the spectrum, right? You play short
Yeah.
form incredibly well. I do long form. Like I don't even know if it's long form anymore. I don't know what this is, but it's like a version past long form. Um, when you think about short form today, obviously there's hooks, there's visual hooks, there's physical hooks. But at Eleven Labs, what I've noticed, because I've consumed a lot of the content, both
Love
because
that.
I love you, I love James, I cannot remember the new hire that you've brought onto the team that's absolutely
Joseph.
cracked. Joseph is cracked as well. Um, I've noticed that there's a huge play on sound effects
Yeah.
and like and you've been able to throughout the content instead of just pauses like there's always something happening and it's almost like hyper like hyper performance these short form pieces of content, and then like short form in the context of a YouTube video, so 11 minutes showcasing something, you also include that. I'd love to understand a little bit about how you're thinking about like this end of the spectrum.
So I think audio is actually really interesting, and there's two parts to it, I guess. First of all, audio is almost just as important as the video itself. Like you can watch a video in 4K, but if the audio is bad, it's going to be tough to watch it. But we've all watched like grainy videos with high quality audio. And so the audio, in my opinion, is just as important. And what I really love about working at Elevenlabs is they believe that as well. And obviously, being an audio research company with the creative platform where you can go and create incredible audio using AI, we want to demonstrate the capabilities of Elevenlabs. And so to us, it's kind of just a no-brainer to include that in the content and show people the potential, because it is something that stands out. It's not the first time we've heard this kind of feedback, which is like, wow, this sounds really good. This is amazing. I love this sound effect. This music's great. This voiceover's insane. And so, yeah, I think it's just a question of like practice what you preach, right? And
As
so we're
Becky
just
would 11 Labs would say, you sip your own champagne.
exactly, yeah, exactly. And
Do you,
it's a big. I'm a fan of dog fooding, and it's simply like just using your own product, but using your own tools. Yeah, it's exactly it.
how has AI played into this, right? Like I in a different way, you must see into content and think about like how do we create content at scale for these products that are coming out like so incredibly fast. The velocity is insane. We had OpenAI on the show and they were discussing around the speed at which they come out. Like the content has to come out at that speed as well. And like, how do you do it? Because I think that everyone that tunes in or everyone that thinks about content always wants to optimize for the speed these days of like how much can I churn the machine. But you do it, you churn the machine, but you also are able to create such high quality.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of people, when they think about AI workflows and AI tools, they're often thinking about how they can find the next best AI workflow or the next best process to incorporate into how they're creating content. And I'm a strong believer in you're already making content that's working. The only thing you want to try and do is speed that process up and make that one faster. So it's just a question of iterating on your own process. And there's, like you said, there's so many new tools coming out all the time. And we're just constantly trying everything that's new, every new model, every new LLM, every new uh, any AI tool you can think of. We just try and think, okay, how can we include this into our workflows to make it faster? And to give you like a specific example, YouTube thumbnails. YouTube thumbnails are really important for YouTube videos. And recently with Nano Banana and Seedream, I believe it's called, there's been these AI image editing models which now allow you to create assets for your content at a much faster rate than before without sacrificing quality. And so as AI tools and models are getting better and better, it's allowing you to do these important things faster and at scale. And so that's just one simple way that we are like using new AI tools. And I'm sure within a couple of months, there's going to be another one that comes out and we'll figure out how to incorporate that. And so I'm constantly trying to think about that.
As someone who is constantly thinking about that, actively using these tools, what aren't they good at? Like we preach about what they are right now, but like what are you seeing as like still the like a huge problem with them? Is it the time that it takes to generate an image or a video? Is it the character consistency actually isn't, Nano Banana does an incredible job, but it doesn't hit the bat all the time. What are you seeing as someone who's like in the weeds?
So yeah, I'm lucky enough that since I've been working at Eleven Labs, I have never been more in the weeds with AI tools and content. And my perspective has changed in the sense that I used to look at AI content and be like, oh yeah, well that's AI, that's kind of easy, but it's not at all the case. Right now, I still think there's a craft to it, and it takes a lot of people, or it takes, sorry, a lot of time for people to figure out how these tools work, how to get the best prompt, how to get consistent characters. Right now, I think the biggest problem is maybe jumping between a bunch of different tools. And so you'll generate an AI image, and then you'll want to animate that in another tool like Runway, and then you need to upscale that in Topaz. And then, oh, wait, the face has gone a little bit weird, so you need to face swap with another tool.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and so right now, I think there is an issue of jumping between a bunch of different AI tools, but knowing how to use these tools and what tools to use for what scenario is definitely a skill.
What's your creative suite at the moment? Obviously, Elevenlabs is within that. You've got some incredible
Yeah,
new features that have come out or new platforms that have come out in the last couple of weeks. James was not joking when he said you are literally shipping weekly now.
yep.
I did not believe him. James, I stand corrected.
It's a very fun company to work at. There's always a lot of content to make and a lot of tools to try out.
So what's in your suite right now? Is it a little bit of Claude, a little bit of Elevenlabs, little bit of like Kling, like Runway, Midjourney? Is it just everything?
Yeah, so to go back to what I was saying earlier about constantly trying new tools and features, like we're at a place now where these tools are evolving so fast that it's becoming very tricky to know what's best to what. And so you do almost have to use all of them. I go with the basics of like obviously I use ChatGPT and Claude. Those are the two LLMs I'll use the most. Anything audio related, I mean, I use Elevenlabs because it's got sound effects, music, voiceovers, everything I would need to basically either start off the voiceover or do a final sound pass for the video content. And then for the models, I think it will switch quite a lot for image and video. For example, I was just talking about Nano Banana and then Seedream. I've been using those the most recently, whereas before that it was Midjourney, because now you can get precise AI image editing, whereas before you would ask to make a change to an image and it would often change other things in the image that you didn't want. And then video, I mean, I'm a big fan of VO3. I've also been using a little bit of Kling 2.1 and all of them. But one of the best things to do is to get a subscription to either like FreePick or Higgsfield so you can try out all the models and quickly switch between them.
Yeah, I'm thinking of absolutely doing that because these subscriptions are killing me right now.
Yeah, there's a lot. You definitely need a platform. So like Elevenlabs where you can do all of it. So you
All
can
of
do
them in
everything
one.
related to audio. All of them, everything related to audio, you can just go to Elevenlabs for it. Whether that's like changing your voice, isolating the voice, generating music, sound effects, text to speech voiceovers, transcribing your voice. Yeah, all of it you can do.
Do you? We asked Ben Kaluza this, right? And we both are friends of Ben, and we've had this conversation several times offline. And I wanted to pick your brain on this. Do you not think you're doing yourself out of a job? You specifically when you're making content, because a lot of the work is headshots, a lot of the work is audio, and if you've got models trained on you as the image and the video and the kind of the nuances of human behavior that you have, in addition to Eleven Labs' incredible product that's able to like really make it believable and mix in the editing that over time will become easier to do or more automated or kind of more on Copilot. Do you not feel like you don't even have to film anything?
Um, I don't think we're at that point yet. And we might get to a point where that will be possible, but I always think there's going to be a human in the driver's seat. And so I'm a really firm believer in the whole will AI replace humans debate or replace these types of jobs. I don't really believe that. I just believe that AI is another tool that we're going to incorporate into our workflows. And so, for example, as like a YouTube content creator or content creative teams, I believe that you can just do more of what's working at scale, faster, better at a higher quality. And as these AI tools get better to the point where you've now got voice clones that are indistinguishable from your own voice, we're getting to a point where AI avatars and AI videos starting to look very realistic. I just think these are tools that will help us scale personalization because people still want that human connection. And I'm still going to want to make content and people are going to still want to watch content made by a human, but I can just scale that human content at levels that we've never seen before thanks to these tools. And so I'm quite excited to the amount of content I'll be able to produce in the future.
Just Alec everywhere.
Yeah,
Just at every
essentially.
platform at every time. It's just when you think of tech, you think of Alec.
That would be the goal. That would be the dream. Yeah.
Is it weird almost being the face of a brand? Because like in a weird way, you're like a celebrity of tech. So when people think of Eleven Labs, you're like, oh yeah, I know that guy.
I guess so. Actually, no, I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it's like personal brands have always existed, even for specific employees going from companies to companies. Like nowadays, I hear about these engineers and people from different Silicon Valley startups moving from one another, or just like the whole AI engineers battle, right, between Meta and OpenAI and things like that. I think personal brands have always existed. It's just being the face of a brand is the same thing, more at scale, just because you're more present within video content, and that's the content you need to publish the most. But no, I don't think I don't think it's much of a weird thing. If anything, it's quite enjoyable, and you get to meet loads of people. People recognize you when you go to these meetup events, which is always fun. It's a great way to start the conversation. And I think, if anything, more and more brands should find. I like to think of it as like internal influencers. Like when you work at a company and you are the face of a brand, you do basically become an influencer for that brand. Um, and if you're lucky enough to be able to do it at a company that you really like and you love the product, like where I am now with Elevenlabs, it just makes it really fun. And so no, I wouldn't say it's weird. It's enjoyable.
You mentioned like you love the product. Why is that? Like, how does that compare to, you've got a star-studded history, man. Like, if we think about, you've been on some all-star teams and all-star companies, right? Whether that's Veed, Synthesia, and now Eleven Labs. Why
Thank you.
why has Eleven Labs become the one that you've not quote unquote fallen in love with, but is the love right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I first heard of Elevenlabs in like mid 2023, and when I heard it, the first thing I heard was this, actually I was scrolling Instagram. I heard this text to speech voice on content, and I was like, "No way! This sounds incredible. It's amazing." And then a few reels later, I hear it again. I'm like, "Wow! I need to find out how to make the same voice, how to make the same text to speech," because up until then, it's always been super robotic and boring and a pain to listen to. And I found out that it was from Elevenlabs, and all of a sudden that like unlocked my brain. I was like, oh my gosh, the possibilities that you can do with human-like text to speech is crazy. All content starts from like audio or a voice, right? Um, and so now this human-like text to speech existed, I was just obsessed from day one, and I tried all of the tools and features. And back then it was still quite minimal, but it was the best at doing this one thing, which was text to speech. And now that's evolved into tons of other things. But I became an affiliate and just yeah, started playing around with the tool so much. And I think it's yeah, one of those tools that does a few things really, really well. And now as the company's scaling, they're branching out, but they go really, really deep into a set of specific tools rather than having a bunch of different tools that aren't the best. And so I love that we've got like the best text to speech, we've got the most accurate transcriptions, we've got the best voices, and so on. I just think it's really cool that to work at a company that cares about quality and also produces audio that's just amazing. And I think audio again is so important. So I really like it.
It's deeply entrenched in culture, right? When we think about songs, when we think about music,
Yeah.
that is how we connect as people. And I don't think that gets talked about enough in the context of Eleven Labs. You're building something that, like I've played with the new music one and the new music model, and that is pretty insane, especially, you know,
Yeah.
off the back of, other products like Suno as an example, that has created an incredible model and has been around for a while. And it's like, bam, you're right there.
Yeah, exactly. And like one of the reasons it just took so long to come out is because Eleven Labs cares about the quality of its products. And so like you mentioned, AI music models have been around for a while, but Eleven Labs came out a bit later just because they wanted to make sure that it was really, really good. It's the same with all of their products. I just think they're high quality. And first of all, I love being able to use a product which is really high quality, but I love to be able to talk about a product and push it to people and recommend it to people when you really believe in it. So
How do you get over the
it's very enjoyable.
whole, like, I'm selling something when I'm making this YouTube video versus I'm trying to inform you about something?
That's a really good question. I think if you focus on the value you provide and you just try to make it as valuable as possible, people won't mind selling. And I never feel like I'm selling if I'm actually like teaching you how to get really good value out of it. And so for some of our recent videos, for example, we're showing AI workflows or how to achieve like specific viral hooks or turning yourself into like a video game character. But my goal with these videos is first to provide value so people think just that content alone was good enough to consume, and then they can kind of go on with their day. But if they then decide to go further and explore more of the content we're creating or discover what 11 Labs is and go and use the products, that's something else. But I think you provide value first and the rest kind of just does itself. And that's been my I guess my motto since day one. And I figured that out early on YouTube. Having really nice editing and fancy camera setup and everything's really nice. But if you provide value, people are going to be grateful and thankful and they're going to enjoy your content because they feel like they're learning. And if a viewer leaves your content satisfied, they'll remember you and they'll happily watch you again. And they'll happily check out your product without you even asking. So provide value is the number one goal.
Within the team at 11 Labs and the people that you interact with, who surprised you?
That's a good question. I mean, the person I work the closest with is James. James is a high performer. He does so many things in his personal life and at work. I'm just very, very impressed. When you get him on the show, you'll see it firsthand, and you've spoken to him as well. It's just pretty nuts. But there are so many different individuals at 11 Labs that are just dialed in and that are
Like
are
who?
really good at a few specific things. I mean, first of all, Matty, the CEO, co-founder, like I've spoken to him a few times. You understand how the company is moving in the direction that it is. Then you got Luke, you got Sam, quite a few people, and the company's grown so much over the past 6 months. I believe we've gone from like 150 to now 250, close to 300, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's pretty wild.
And I want to look outside of 11 Labs a little bit. When you look at the space of people doing video in the context of tech, who does it well?
Oh, I
Like I
mean,
know,
you
I
got
know, I
the
know. There's the mafia, right? Like we've had on half of them, but like the Tim Zahls, the Claires, the Bryans of the world. I'm probably missing on the Synthesia teams. They all do
yeah.
it incredibly well. Outside of that small mafia that seems to exist, and you guys know each other incredibly well. Who do you look at and go, wow, like they're really playing well in that space?
That's a good question. I can't remember the name, but Hrefs, their YouTube channel, that was super solid.
Really?
Um, yeah, they had some high quality content there.
What
Um,
did you like about it?
the the first of all, just the editing and the way they delivered the content was really good, but the value, I think just the value in there, if you know, like delivering value when it comes to educational content, and all SaaS companies should be doing this, but if you know how to deliver value in a way that's enjoyable, it just makes the video so easy to watch and it's just very impressive. And it's actually a lot harder than you think. And even I'm still trying to get better at it day to day. But yeah, otherwise it's funny you ask that because
Because I know you
I
don't live
outside of
chronically online like
well,
me.
yeah, outside of the bubble I'm kind of in, I don't consume too much. I'm more about like paying attention to who's close already, you know?
Awesome. Alec, look, last question before you go. I want to know if there's a concept that you could run a video with at 11 Labs. What is the one that's sort of like tinkering in your mind? You're like, I haven't got to do that yet.
Oh, that's a very good question. Um, a concept at 11 Labs.
You've done the VO3 work, like the workflows in
Yeah,
conjunction with 11 Labs' tools. You've done a bunch of other ones that I know are coming out, yeah, or likely to come out in the future just because of the space that we operate in. And I can see how it all
yeah.
comes together. What is it that you're like, oh my God, this would push the boundary of what we're able to do?
So I would love to. So we already dived deep into a few different AI workflows, and I still think I'm scratching the surface, and not many people have gone so deep where you're like your mind is blown because I know for a fact that the things you can achieve with AI in content is insane. It's just so hard to get to that level. And so something I would love to do is to do like an hour long video going deep into how to make like a Hollywood style or a Hollywood production type music video, something like
Oh,
that from start to
wow.
finish, everything with AI. Because it is doable and I've seen it. It's just for now, it takes a lot of time just to be able to get to that level. But I'd love to be able to teach something like that soon.
That sounds insane. Alec, this has been a genuine pleasure because I've worked so damn hard to get you on this show. This has been fun.
Well,
Look,
thanks for inviting
you've
me.
got an open slot, my friend. Like whenever you want to come on, I will talk content with you and the team any day of the week.
I'd love to do it again.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so
Thanks so much
much.
for the time.